All right, finally got stream. Welcome to the stream. I have had a couple of technical difficulties that were unforeseen. My upload speed was somehow horribly throttled, and I had to do some work real fast, but it seems like I got it sorted. So now we'll be able to work on our dreadnoughts for today, which is what I wanted to do. Thank you all for waiting. I'm going to flip this, I think, so that you can see it a little bit differently. Oops. There we go. I don't know why it's doing this specifically, but I'm having some trouble with my OBS lately. And we'll see if we can fix it. There we go. Oh, what is happening? Well, OBS is having problems today too. It's just one of those days. Let's get the chat up and running. Hey, Yasmats. I have not painted them. They've been primed. They've only been primed, so they are ready to go. I did a 2-layer priming. I did a black prime, and then I did a 45-degree angle gray prime on top. So we'll get a little bit of a light difference between the underside and the top side. That's the kind of goal there. Yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in. So give me 1 second to get this chat up. I've been just having the worst time with my internet today. Here we go. It's getting a little bit closer to being correct. That's better. There we go. All right, I fixed it. Okie dokie, let's get going. So, this is my goal. We're going to try to get all these things painted. They are pretty easy. They're not that big. There's not going to be a whole lot of detail on them. I'm going to do some detail work on them. The big thing for me is I want to make sure that they are also usable, so that they're of the color that they were originally. So these ones were yellow. These were the blue. These were red, and these were green. So we're going to incorporate some of the colors originally from the pieces into the new shapes, or into the new colors. So feel free to chat away. I'm just going to get a little bit set up here. Again, is running around trying to get my internet to work. So I'm a little behind, and I'm 30 minutes late. So I apologize for that, y'all. So, but I got a good beverage here to cool off, and hopefully we'll have some fun. So I think today I'm actually going to start with the yellow. So we're going to start with the yellow, do those. Let's see if I can make sure that they are on screen so you can keep seeing them. There's the greens. These are the reds. There's the blues. Here are the yellows. I'll make sure they're on frame right there for you. Okay. So my goal here with these, I'm actually going to be using a bone white. I use Vallejo. So these are my colors. I'm going to be using my game colors. I've also got some shades. I've got some Agrax Earth shade we might end up using on one of them, but I think I'm going to mostly be using this Nuln Oil because, sorry, it's upside down. We'll be using Nuln Oil for the shading and a couple other things. Seraphim Sepia. I have some Dreckenhoff Nightshade I'm using for the blue. and just generally trying to make these look kind of cool. So we're going to actually start with a bone white. And the reason we're going to be starting with a bone white for the yellow is because it's a good base color. And then I can do some accents and things like that. So I'm going to set that up over here. Let's see, where is my on screen? That's on screen. That's on screen. Okay, so these are on screen. Some of these colors will be kind of off screen, and I'll show you what I'm doing so that you can see, but I don't have a whole lot of room on my workspace here. I'm using this right at the desk. So, oopsies. But just let me know if there's something specific you want to see. I'll try to make sure this a little bit. Let's move this back a little bit. There we go. All right. It's probably plenty. Let's get some water in there. Hey there, Matt. What's up, man? Only painted the Alliance track characters and the Mentat. Oh yeah, I should also probably, before I begin this, I could show you guys what I've done with my set so far. I don't know if I've shown y'all. Getting some water in here. So you can see I'm just watering down a little bit my colors. Right there. So get that going. Yeah, here, let me show you what I've got so far. Big question is, where did I set it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so I haven't done that much work on mine either. I've just done the Mentat and the Alliance token. So this is my Mentat. He's kind of hard to see because the thing doesn't want to focus in here. Maybe I have shown these on camera before. But that's the kind of blue marbling we're going to be going for the blue ship. That's my Mentat. Let's go through. Here's the Fremen. He's upside down for you. Apologies. There you go. So that one turned out pretty good. Here is my Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother. This one turned out really, really good. And the marbling on the bottom there, again, that's something I really am going to try to do for the ship, the blue ship. I really like that shade. I've got my Spacing Guild. There you go. This one turned out okay. The planets looks like a brown planet. And the best one I have is this, the Emperor token, which turned out really, really good. And there's a lot of detail. I spent a lot of time on this one. You can see that. There you go. So those are my Alliance tokens. So hopefully this will look good with the rest. So that's the goal. I have not done the others. The other figures are still not done. Eventually I'll do those. But we're currently working on these guys. So let's get going. And I'm doing my best to dig in the edge highlighting. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm again, I picked this up like many people. I picked up painting minis like during COVID. Let me see if I can move these out of the way so I can actually paint. And I just, taught myself and watched videos and stuff like that. So I'm not like an expert. I'm very much a novice, but enjoy doing it. So I was looking up some of the Board Game Geek painted minis. There aren't that many of these painted. I saw 2 sets of them painted, and they were mostly silver. We're going to add some silver, but a lot of people like to add a lot of metal more than they need to, I think. And not that that's anything wrong with that. But it tends to just make everything look silver. So, but we have a good gunmetal Vallejo for that. And I like the gunmetal better than I like the regular silver because it's more of a natural looking metal color. The silver looks more like, I don't know, like a coin or something. And I do my best to keep the chatting up. I'm not good at talking and doing this, but I'll try. Everyone see that okay? It's getting there. So first coat, just base coat for bone white. Bone white is probably my favorite color. It's one of the most versatile ones you can use because it tends to be the base for lots of different kinds of tones. Very pale flesh cut tones. It can be the base for well, bones and things like that, like skulls if you're doing a D&D set or something like that. Hey Matt, what's up, buddy? I did do the Mentat. I just showed it off. I'll show you in a second. I did do the Mentat. Yep, I did. Ember Token was by far the hardest when I was trying to get between all of those arms and legs. Oh, no kidding. I think that thing took me, I want to say like maybe 8 hours to complete. Maybe just starting painting, not including the priming and things like that, but it took forever. And I think at one point I had messed up and I had to, like, you know, if you mess up when you're painting, it's okay. You can always redo it, but it takes a long time to go back and like reprime. And if you really mess up, you have to go and strip all the paint. All right, just base color, pretty standard. Let me show you. I actually think the Mentat turned out okay. He's not my favorite, but he's kind of got a military look to him. I mean, they have the military garb on, so he's kind of got a green and dark green outfit there. So I think he turned out okay. I had some trouble with getting the face right because the face just doesn't look good. I hate painting faces so much. But yeah, that's the Mentat. All right, it's the second one. Honestly, don't know how long this is going to take because my painting schedule usually is like I paint, then I set it down, and I come back to it like, you know, a day later. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, the base turned out pretty good on that one. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm just doing a very light coat. I've watered this paint down, and the reason is that I actually want some amount of darkness to come through because of the way I've primed it. It will create a natural shadow on the darker portions, so I kind of want it to be slightly darker underneath and darker on the sides. Hey Brenda, what's up? Welcome, joining us for you know, my first ever painting live. I've never done this before, and if people like it, maybe I'll keep doing it. Custom spice and water tokens. I bought Solarial and need to sit down and paint the deluxe minis. Yep, I still do. I've only done the Mentat and the Alliance tokens. I have not done anything else. I looked at the agents and I was like, man, I should probably do those, but it's so much. I'm in the middle of painting and I still have to finish painting a friend's Blood Rage set, which I can maybe go grab and show you all. That one actually is one of the best ones I've done so far. Those are really fun. I love painting the giants. Like they're so cool, and they turned out really good. All right, base colors, not bad. All right, let's move on while those are drying a little bit. We're gonna use, what should we do next? The reds. So I actually wanted to do something cool for the red. I wanted to mix silver gunmetal and a red to create kind of like a deep metallic red. If you can find the photos of yours, yeah, share with me, Matt. I'd love to see them. Yeah, well, welcome. I mean, yeah, I was supposed to start 50 minutes ago, and I was having some problems with my internet. So we're going to be using... can that focus, please? Maybe you can see that there. This is called gunmetal. So this is what we're going to be using for mixing with the red. We'll see if we can create a cool, like, deep reddish thing. Now, I don't want a bloody red. I want kind of a crimson. I also have this like basic acrylic stuff that I also use. They're pretty good. You just have to water them down a little bit. So I'll show you what I'm doing. That is way too much red, but that's okay. Hope you all aren't super bored, but it's painting. It is what it is. All right, so we're going to water down these reds, or this red, and we're going to mix it with the silver. That's a pretty good red. I might lighten it a little bit too. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more of that. Ah, cool. What are you playing on Switch? So that's what the red might look like. I think I want to lighten it slightly. Let's get... Where's my white? It's hiding from me. Okay, let's see if we can get this a slightly lighter. I don't want it to look like brown. Gunmetal with a little bit of a red tint. Okay, okay. All right, let's see how that goes. I'm gonna use this as the base. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of like almost I don't know, like a cloudy pinkish red. It's pretty cool. Just gonna do that through the whole thing, and this is the cool part on the back. A lot of these minis actually have little engines on the back, which I'll do a little bit of detail on. It should be fine. I mean, there's not much to do on these, but you know, as a trial run for this whole endeavor, it's pretty fun. I've always wanted to do this. Immortals, Phoenix Rising. Oh, cool. I've not heard of that one. I haven't been playing a lot of video games, actually. I used to play lots of video games, but I don't know very much about the new stuff out. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of like off the screen. I apologize, everybody. Trying my best to keep it on screen. Yeah, I like that color a lot. That's cool. And then when we do some highlights, it'll bring out the metallic. So I have an extensive collection of PlayStation 1 to Dreamcast and Nintendo 60. Well, I used to have a bunch of Nintendo 64 games. My brother sold them, but I had an extensive collection of those and a bunch of Genesis games. Again, those got sold too, but lots of old school stuff. But I haven't been playing. I have some PlayStation 4 stuff too. I posted in the general chat. Cool. Do you mind if I share with everybody? In hidden assets, you mean? Or was it in... let's see. Let me know which channel you posted in. General chat for TTS Club? Maybe. I haven't been in there for a little while. Let me see. Let's see. It's the general chat. Here it is. General chat. Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can show everybody. That looks good. Here. And no capture. Let's see, can I crop it? Well, I'll just do this, but it's like my whole thing. Yeah, Switch was my first game system in a long time. Recently got out of physical rehab facility and started playing it more while I was in there. Right on. I mean, you know, it's really good that we have these things that can help us like cope and get through things that are difficult. That looks great. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I think it looks great. It's... I'm gonna zoom in if I can. Let's see. Make it a little bigger. Oh, the box is green. I like the green marbling. Looks great. Yeah, you did more detail than I did. I was basically like halfway done with them, or basically like my last one was the mother, and I was like, eh. Yeah, it looks really great. I think you did a better job than I did. All right, let's do the second one. I don't have my sticky tack. My sticky tack is all... I need to get some new sticky tacks all dried up, so I'm using tape today. It's not all dried up. It's actually... I don't have enough anymore. I need to get some more. Lucked out with the dry brushing for the mesh around her face. You know, I found that... no, I don't think you lucked out. I mean, you did a good job with it. The dry brushing looks really solid. I think the details that you added in there, which seem like they're, you know, minor details, they're all really hard to do. Like getting the box green, I think I just left mine black, and I just used the dry brush just to accent the corners and the angles on the figure. I didn't really go into like the minor details on that one. I was like kind of just get it over with, because I spent so much time on the Emperor. And I was like, it'll be fine. Kind of feel like Bob Ross. Paint this happy little spaceship. I've said this before on this on the channel before, but we like don't have any idea what any of the Dune ships look like. So these are like approximations. This one in particular reminds me of the Corellian helmets in Star Wars at the very beginning. I think it's maybe it's not the beginning. It's like the it's the Cloud City helmets. Cloud City helmets. It looks like that. I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. The Cloud City helmets. It's kind of a weird shape. I'll see if I can find a picture of that online in a little bit. You know what? I should put some music on too, huh? Let's get some music going. Let's see. Whoops. There we go. Hopefully that's not too loud. Maybe right there. Is that audible? Let me know if that's audible, but not like too annoying. If it is annoying, just let me know. Okay, cool. Chill. Nice. I was hoping that. Trying to get it right so it sounds okay to me and you guys at the same time, so. Alright, this one's looking good. So I like that metallic red. What do you think? I don't know how clearly it's coming through on stream, but it looks pretty good to me. Yeah, I think it's coming through. I think you can kind of see that metallic glow on it. Yeah, it looks cool. All right, let's set those guys aside, let them dry. Let's see, let them over here maybe. There we go. All right, I'm gonna go back to the dusty, deserty yellow that I was working on. You can kind of see that when it dries, it's creating this kind of patchy look. That's okay. I kind of want it to be a little patchy. But I'm going to give it one more. Also, I'm not working it from a guide or anything like that. I don't actually know what... I'm just kind of like winging it with these things. I'm going to leave the bottom a little bit because when I... well, I'm actually going to smooth out this a little bit now that I see it. I'm going to use a wash on this, obviously, but the wash is going to dramatically change the way it looks, so... All right. I was saying earlier that bone white's like one of my favorite things to use in my favorite colors, because it does add a lot to different figures, but it can serve as like a base, a really interesting base, or it can serve as like an accent color. It's a really cool color. I don't know. Sometimes it can be skin tone, sometimes it can be, you know, metal, like a dirty, deserty metal. Getting there. Okay. All right, let's start on these green guys. I kind of want to do another one of those. Let's do like a metallic green. I don't know. This is one of the more interesting figures because it actually has something on the back. It has like engines, which is kind of neat. It's got some different layering on there, so maybe I'll do like 2 different colors for that. But we'll get a base green. Let's see. Let's actually mix it with some of this. I have some bone white already. Let's just use some of that. Why not? All right, let's get that good metal. Try to get that consistency. It's a little hard. This one's kind of an older color. There we go. There we go. That's a nice metallic green. That's cool looking. And if you're just tuning in, thank you all for joining me. I'm just painting my Dreadnoughts for the Dreadnought upgrade pack. I should actually have that out so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe like over here. Something like that. Apologies. Kind of. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, there we go. So how is everyone's week going so far? It's a Wednesday. My Wednesday went okay. Didn't have any particular bad thing happen today, so that's good. Went down to a local pub with the family and had a drink and got some food. So I'm going to actually just go right over these, and then I'm going to pull them out later with some detail because it's just a little too tight for my brush I currently have. It's pretty cool. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's do the next one. This one's going to take a couple. I think this paint needs a little more water. It's getting a little streaky. Okay, and just so everyone, I guess, knows, this is the green I'm currently using, mixed with the gunmetal from Vallejo. So it's just a simple, like, you can get this pretty much anywhere. I think I got mine at, I don't know, Fred Meyer or something. Thalum cyanide green. Just that, a little bit of the bone white to brighten it a bit, and then gunmetal. And there's some cool designs on the top there I can pull out with a different color when I do the highlighting a little bit later on. I don't think these are going to take quite as long as I thought they were going to. They are not that big. Cool. Green base done. All right, let's do blue. Let's do the blue. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it's looking really cool. All right. So we're going to end up using Drakenhof Nightshade on the blue. This is going to make it look like that marbly texture at the bottom of like the Mentat I showed you guys earlier. Sorry, this is upside down. Apologies. My my screen is inverted. And so what we're going to do to get that color is we're actually going to be using a similar thing here. We're going to be using the bone white, and then we're going to put the Drakenhof Nightshade on top of it. And that's going to create that marble color. But we're not going to do it on this one because it's yellow. That we have to turn yellow. It's this one. All right. So we're going to make that bone white and coat it in Drakenhof Nightshade. then highlight it. That's the idea. So we'll see how that goes. And then we'll pull out like a blue metallic maybe if we really want to like be extra fancy. I'm not really sure yet. Again, I'm kind of, you know, just going as I go. We could use also a gray, a bluish gray. This Administratum gray from Citadel is pretty great. This one could be used as a base, and that would also create that kind of marble texture, but it'll be slightly darker. You know, you could do that. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Let's just try that. I mean, what else? What's the worst that can happen, right? It is pretty gray. Yeah, I've forgotten how. I think it's like a slightly bluish gray, but give it a little shake. Okay, that's what it looks like. Just mostly gray. Yeah, I think we're gonna pull a little bit of a blue into it. Let's see. Fellow cyanide blue. Let's get just a tad of that. You don't want too much, just a little bit. These are some of my favorite acrylics, even though they're not like, you know, they're not super high. They're pretty high quality. They're just not like very well known because they're kind of a generic. But we're gonna get this blue. Yeah, this will be cool. All right. The grayish blue, not a metal yet. We won't do the metal yet. That looks kind of nice. And then when we put the nightshade on it, we can use that to actually accent it a little bit. Just pull a little bit out, actually. A little more. There we go. I grab another brush to do this. Supposed to have a mixing brush, and it's supposed to be separate from my normal brush. I know that. I always forget to, though. I'm impatient. There we go. Now it's looking better. All right, there's our gray blue. So there we go. It's gonna look as a base, a light bluish gray. And we'll put some darker blue highlighting and detail on it later. Maybe. Again, hopefully everything turns out okay. You are all part of the experiment. I also kind of want them all to look different enough that they look like the colors for that player, but also it's a little different, you know? I don't want them to be just flat blue or flat green. I could have just left them as their base colors then. So. That's looking pretty good. Oh, I like that. That looks better than I was expecting, actually. What do y'all think? Again, this is the base color, so we will have other things going on it, but it's nice, kind of a neat little Yellow gray. Yep, I painted a lot of other pieces. I painted in this set, in Dune, the Dune set I mentioned earlier. I don't know if you saw, but let's see. I painted all of the Alliance tokens. So this one's the Emperor. There's a lot of detail on that one. I spent a lot of time working on like the helmets. But yeah, those I did all of those, and then I've done for Dune, yeah. That's basically what I've been doing. Just those 5 Mentat and the 4 Alliance tokens. I have not done the agents yet, as I just haven't. Yeah. I've done painting for, like I was saying, my friend's Blood Rage set, which I'll probably go down and show you guys a little bit later, but that is a very, very detailed set. I spent a lot of time on that. Still not done. I have a couple more to do. And all of these things always look kind of crappy after the first layer. It's just after you get through the highlighting they start to actually take shape usually. So if you are interested in seeing what toil one goes through when you paint minis, stick around. Yeah, so we were talking about some video games, so let's talk about some video games. I haven't talked about video games for a long time, actually. The last video game I played was Horizon Zero Dawn, I believe. Like, sat down and played. Kamon's upcoming Dune game. Oh, the one that I played against Orsky online. That was fun. Made a bunch of figs for Rise of Moloch, but never been able to actually play it. Oh man. Yeah. That is one of the issues, right? You spend a lot of time painting these things, and sometimes they don't get completed, so you don't get to play them. But other times, I do feel like sometimes I buy these things just to paint the minis. It's a nice blue. Okay. Again, just a cursory layer, not much going on right now. Good there, that looks good. It's not looking too streaky. We'll see if I ever get time to paint all of them. Oh man. I can't even imagine paint. So I'm also painting my Lord of the Rings War of the Ring game, and I have like half of it done, and that's another thing I gotta finish because I want to play that game again. It's so good. All right, so we've got our base coat. So here's our base coat for the blue. Here's our base coat for yellow. Here's our base coat for green. Oops, kind of off screen. And here's our base coat for red. We're getting going. Oh, you did the gears on Zulkin? Wow. That's intense. Did you post it on BGG? Because I'd love to see it. I know there's some people have done some amazingly intricate gears of Zulkin. That game is awesome, by the way. One of my favorites. All right, so let's do... let's see, what are we gonna do for this? Should we do this one first? The yellow. All right, so I guess I have to decide which direction I want to go with it. How I want to make it look yellow. How I want to make it look dark. I think we're gonna first put a wash on it and then clean it up and do some detail. Let's make this one look dirty. So let's get some good old Agrax Earthshade. All right, thanks for stopping by, Matt. We appreciate it. And you could always jump to the end of the video when we finally get it done and check it out. All right, good old Agrax Earthshade. Oh, you bought your own copy of Zulkin and we're going to do it again. Yeah, like your friend's version of the game is better because you worked so hard on it and then you buy it and you're like, I did it once. That's good enough. Yeah, I've been there. All right. All right, let's dirty this sucker up. Now, obviously, prior to us actually doing any detail. Heard your comment about Bone. I was running around. It's such a versatile, one of my go-tos. Yeah, I know, it's so good. It's one of my favorites for all sorts of projects. That was a little too much. Yeah, I love it. Bone White's a great color. So I guess just to explain what I'm doing right now is I'm putting a wash on the minis, or this mini, to create an effect of kind of like a dirty ship, I guess, that the ship has been used a lot. And I'm trying to pull the dark and the wash areas to the sides and the corners and kind of like the crevices so that it gives it a little bit of a lived-in look and yeah, a little bit more character to it. So that's the goal. There's always the problem with washes of using too much, and I am a little worried about that. Creates a cool little shadow effect. Sometimes you have to go over it again, but usually don't want to. So pulling that up to the lip of the end of the ship so it creates a kind of shadow, essentially. And if you're stopping by, you're probably already subscribed, but if you're not, and you like Dune, Imperium, and other sort of stuff like that, Dune content, give us a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to us. That looks pretty good. Alright, cool. Ah! Knocked it over. Probably noticed that I've got these dowels. They're sitting on top of these dowels. I have this like old piece of wood that was kind of cool, and I decided to like chop it up and make it usable for painting minis. So it's kind of cool. So alright, those are pretty good. Those are gonna dry now, and we'll come back to them in a little bit. So we're done with Agrax Earthshade for now. We're gonna go on and move on to. I want to do these ones real bad because I'm aching to get this color because I really like it when I get a chance to use Drakenhof Nightshade. I don't get to use it very much. So let's see how this turns out. Alright, so you can see the pot there. I guess the question is, how much of this do I want to put on it? Let's just slather it in it and see what happens, and then move on from there. There we go. Just apologies, everybody. Make a little more room for me. There we go. This ship kind of looks like a Cadillac. I don't know. Anyone else see that? It kind of looks like a Cadillac to me. Okay. Slather! Let us slather some more. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't look like a Cadillac. Maybe I'm just a little crazy. Or like, I don't know, space Cadillac. I'm not really sure where they got these shapes from. I know Paul Denon does watch our stream, so if he has any insight and is in the stream somehow at home, probably not, because it's like 11 o'clock there, 11:30. If he is in the stream, throw us a little bit of knowledge bombs. How did you get these shapes? What kinds of models were you working off of? Or was the company working off of? Okay. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think they look totally fine. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we don't really know what the ships in the Dune universe, except for the Highliners, looked like. So anyone's guess is as good as anyone's guess. All right, let's go for our red. Thank you, thank you. All right, so I guess the question is, what am I going to do with this one? So I think we want to have this one, maybe this one's going to be shinier, so we can pull some Nuln Oil on it and make that, pull out the shine, make it really like pop, and darken up the underside. Because I'd like to, I kind of want to make it a two-tone-ish color. There's almost like a, or maybe, yeah, we can like darken the underside and then leave the top. Let's try that. Let me get my Nuln Oil. In case someone wants to go back and make a list of the things I'm using, they're welcome to. So we're going to be a little more selective with this model. And we're going to only do the underside. Now, Nuln Oil, as opposed to Agrex's Earthshade, doesn't necessarily make the ship like look dirty. It makes it look darker. It darkens the paint, the base color, and it will make it look shaded, but it won't make it look dirty, unless I really, really wanted it to be. So we're going to put that there. It is the pot I go through the most, absolutely. It is the #1 pot I go through the most. So we're going to use this one to create some cool shading effects. And we're going to pull some out here on those little like engine. Okay, and I think I might actually do the top as well while I'm at it, because I spill it too much, because people spill it too much, because I'm about to bump it. So this will actually be okay. We're gonna pull out the top, and then we'll do some highlights on the top. Maybe I'll just, I don't know, maybe I should just do the whole thing. This one we're gonna do, it's gonna look a little weird while we're using Nuln Oil on it, and then when we go back and create highlights, it should look a little bit different. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do the whole thing. I don't know why I'm not doing the whole thing. Again, let's use the slather technique and just get it all done, and then we'll highlight it afterwards. Of course, I kind of wanted to leave a little bit like untouched, but since we're just gonna go back and do it anyway, it's no big deal. And I'm gonna pull some off though. This is gonna create those nice little lines. Go. already kind of start to see the lines forming, so it'll be darker. Then we'll be able to brighten that up a little bit when it's done. All right, next one. Griffin Sepia. I have Seraphim Sepia. I could still do that. I don't have Griffin Sepia. Is that a different one? Let me go get a... Actually, I can just do it with dry here. I have a couple dry brushes. I think you're right. We can try that. Oops. Come on, chair. So we're just pulling a little bit off. Yeah, I think that's... We can pull some Seraphim, put some Seraphim Sepia on top. I agree. I think that's a better color. We're going to leave the lines, though. I like the lines. So I think we'll do that for the second one. We'll just be a little bit more precise. Oh, was it the previous name? I actually didn't know that. That's cool. All right. Let's do the second one while that one's drying, and then we'll go back and do some Seraphim Sepia on the top. I will pull that off. That is too much. Okay. Give it a shake. Let's try that on top. Let's see how that looks. Ooh, interesting. Kinda like that. So I don't want to go too far because I want to keep the black lines. That does look good. Yeah, that's cool. And when we highlight it, it's going to be even better. So let's put that one on. Let's do that. Let it dry. That one's going to have a nice kind of like reddish tint on top, a little brownish red. and then we'll go back and brighten it up a little bit. That looks great. Okay. Next. All right, this one is super simple. I'm just going to be slathering this one with Nuln Oil, and then we're going to be keeping the green pretty straightforward. I'm going to be doing some extra stuff later on, so let's just do this pretty fast since I don't have a lot of experimentation I want to do with this one. I know exactly what I want this one to look like. But the cool thing about this green, it's already got these awesome spots on it that should naturally make it look really cool. And I want to do this before I like put anything on the motor or the engine parts or whatever, so that pulls those out. I want those to be clean and crisp, not dirty or shaded. So should be good. Yeah, the trick is always right, like how much wash do you need? I think that's about the right amount. Maybe a little more on the side here. So it gives it a little more depth. Yeah, that looks great. That looks great. Yeah, washes are pretty tricky. I mean, I usually just do it as a slather method, but when I'm doing like more complex figures, I will not do it that way. Yeah, especially I like the way that this one's coming out. Okay, now a little bit more by the engines. That looks great. All right. Now, one thing I do know, though, is that when you're using this wash, it looks good now. It might not wash, it might not dry looking exactly like that. That's one of the things. Sometimes the details, usually they stay, but sometimes they don't. Thank you, thank you. I think it's looking really good. Get it on there, and then we will use that more specific area focus. Okay, so that's probably too dark. Let's pull those down. looks great. Okay. It's looking cool. Look at that. Yeah. All right. I think we're almost onto the highlighting. All right, cool. Thank you. Time for a drink. Okay, let's set these guys aside for now. Let's go back to our yellow and blue. These two. So the blue one's turned out pretty cool. This is that marbling effect I was telling you about. It looks like interesting. And so what I'm going to end up doing is a couple of things. I'm going to be lightening it a little bit in certain areas just to pull out the color. A little bit of a shimmer effect, maybe. And then if there's any spots, maybe like at the back, if we wanted to add a little bit of metal effect. I don't know if we really do. We could do that, but it's looking cool. There's that one, and then there's this one. So this dirty looking ship. So this one I actually wanted to pull a lighten on each of the little veiny parts on it. So I'm actually going to end up running my brush over parts of it. I think this one actually could just dry brush at this point, to be quite honest. And not have to worry about that. And then I could, yeah, maybe I'll just start with a dry brush on this one and then do some more detail after that. I think I'll do that, actually. Give me 1 second. I need to go get some paper towels. All right, I'm back. All right, so we're gonna do, I am gonna do a dry brush on this. Yeah, the big question is what kind of a effect do I want? Like, do I want it to look a little bit metallic? I kind of wanted it to look a little bit like those, what are they? Sonica? And the way I did that is I used a white brush over the bone white. So I think I'll try that. It'll kind of be a similar effect. So they'll be a little bit more uniform, kind of close to my original, or some of my other art stuff, some of my other paint. So it kind of looks similar in a way. I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. We'll try it. So we're going to use a Blanco. I actually might use I have a big thing of white, but actually, yeah, I should, let's just use this. I'm gonna run downstairs and get it. Yeah, we'll pull out the edges here. And for those of you who have never dry brushed before, so I'm going to be using this brush here. What I'm going to be doing is just basically getting this brush nice and painty, and then I'm going to be wiping it off. And I'm going to be basically just brushing over it like this. I don't have enough off yet. There we go. So it's going to pull out those raised edges, basically. And I just want to be pretty light on it. It just catches all of the raised edges and it makes them really pop. It's a really cool effect. And it's also super easy to do. In case you're interested in getting into this sort of thing. That looks rad. Okay. As you can see the difference here. Right. Thanks, Matt. Also, hope you're doing better. I know you had a rough week last week. How's the family? Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear, man. You know, everyone I know has just tested positive. Well, almost everyone has just tested positive for COVID. So it's coming around again. And I think we're just going to have to end up living with that sort of thing, right? It's going to happen every year. It's kind of early, 8 days. No, 8 days I think is about right, actually. I've heard 10. I've heard 8. Took me 10 when I first got it. There we go. But really glad to hear that everyone's doing well. Yeah, I mean, you're just flicking the paintbrush. It's like the easiest way to make to do detailing. I am going to be doing a little bit more detailing to it in just a bit, but yeah, that's the basics. I'll be going through in the individual crevices and kind of like lightening things up. All right, I'm gonna let that one, this paintbrush dry a little bit. Let's do some highlighting on the yellows while we're waiting for red and green to dry still. Okay, that's looking better. All right, I need my tiny brush. All right, so what are we doing now? Now we're going to be taking this same color we've been using, the bone white, And we're going to be lightening it a little bit, and we're going to be pulling out some of the areas in here and just kind of like giving them a little bit more, I don't know, depth a little bit. And we need a little bit more white to do that. I actually have some white, so let's use this. Mixing brush, come back. Hey, Cheesable, how you doing, man? We are painting some minis, and they're looking great, man. They're looking great. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating a lighter shade of the bone white. I'm going to mix it with a little bit more white. And then what I'm going to be doing is progressively lightening it as I highlight. Yeah, so here's what we've got so far, man. We've got the yellow Dreadnought. The blue Dreadnought's not done yet. None of these are done yet. The blue Dreadnought. Okay. It's got a little bit of a metallic blue with a wash on it. The red one's got a little bit of an orangish red top. We're going to do some other stuff with that one later. The red one's going to be challenging. The green one, we've got a metallic green with some wash that's drying currently on it. And I'm about to start highlighting or lightening the yellows. A little too much on that. Let me pull it off here. I'm doing it off screen. Sorry about that. I am pulling a little bit more off of the white. I had a little too much on my brush, so it is going to end up cutting through some of it. This is the part that always ends up looking bad when I start doing it, but it eventually gets better. Highlighting's hard. Oh yeah. Part that always hurts my hand. Ultimately, so this side came out already better. The top's working on it, but it's supposed to create this like deepened look. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like it's deeper into the, I don't know, it's the optical illusion. I think I'm not doing it right on the top. Well, we'll figure it out. There we go. It's like a weird thing going on here. Pulling out a little bit more of those little spiny things, spider webby bits. Not super into that. I don't know what I did. Something wrong. Oh well, good thing you can always fix things, right? Oop. All right, so not super happy with this front here, so I'm gonna earth shade it a little bit right here. I don't like how it turned out, so we're gonna darken it and then we'll do it again. It's this part I don't really like. And actually, it looks pretty cool. All right, let that dry. Do some shading on this one, knowing what I know, not to do the top. I'm just gonna pull these out. Feather that. Sorry if it's a little bit blurry, everybody. My GoPro doesn't like focusing close. What's up, everybody? How is everyone doing? Some new viewers. Thanks, Brenda. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. think what I learned from the top is that just go lighter on it. And maybe like pull to the top. So like color here and then pull it up as opposed to what I was doing before, which was pulling it down. Really what I should be doing is a little bit more of the base gray, which is what I started with. The bone gray, bone white. It's okay, it'll look good. Okay. Pull up. All right. Looking pretty good. Do a little bit of blending. This is the part that always takes the longest. Looking pretty good. As long as it's consistent with the one side, you know, it looks good. Let's go a little lighter here. Okay. There we go. Looking pretty good. There we go. All right, so final touches for those guys. Those guys are pretty much done. I want to put some metallic highlights. So we'll just pull out some stuff with the metal, the gunmetal, which is dried up on my board, so I'll put a little bit more out there. Should be good. So what I want to do, you can see these little shaft things there. I want to make those metal without damaging anything else. Sure there's like professional painters out there who are like, what the hell are you doing? Well, I'm sorry if it looks weird. The ship is weird, man. There's this weird thing on the back here, which I'm going to pull out as well as metal. It's like a gunmetal color. It'll be a subtle change, but I think it's looking pretty good. It's a little accent. Thoughts? I could even do like some other stuff there with the metal, like underneath so the white's there on the sides and the X, but I could have these like laced down as metal, but I don't know if I need to do that. Might be kind of cool looking. I don't know what y'all think. You can maybe barely see it, but those like exhaust fan things are now metal. Okay. So yeah, that's some of the things I was thinking about doing, is like the little lines coming off of this as gunmetal, and then that would kind of like, we'd keep the white. I don't know. Maybe it's good the way it is. Looks pretty cool. Maybe I'll just keep it the way it is for now and think about that later. Alright, so yellow, done. Alright, what are we doing next? Blue. Okay. So we used where is it? Phthalocyanide blue mixed with gunmetal. So we're going to rebuild that. Because all mine dried in the meantime. I think there was a little bit of bone in there too, so. Okay. A little more in there. Lighten it up a little bit more. There we go. That looks good. That's how I want it. That is the right consistency and color. So now we're going to be taking the light, and I think I'm going to actually brighten up the top here, going up from here, and just brighten the top up. So we'll keep it, the rest of it, the same. We're going to start here and we're going to brighten up. I know we're kind of going over that cool marble look, but don't worry. The effect should be just better than leaving it. I'm going to leave the shadowed areas. Time to blend. And we're going to leave the little in-between areas, right? So that stays kind of grungy looking. This one I have a better sense for how I want it to look than that last one. I wasn't really sure. Okay, when that starts to dry, it'll look a little bit more naturally blue with the two tones. There's a spot right here. Which needs to just be blended a little bit more, colored over. Okay. There we go. That's pretty nice. So if I pull some of it off, some of that color off, it gets darker. So I can kind of half erase if I needed to. These weird fuselages. I think that's what those are. Let's just do the blue on this one. Continue what we're doing. Something got weird there. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm off the screen. I actually fixed that a little bit. In any case, thank you all for sharing this time with me. I'm humbled that anyone wants to come and watch me paint minis. Cool. All right, let's grab some of this gunmetal while it's still able to be. I just wonder if I should just use this middle part as a gunmetal. Would look kind of cool. Yeah, maybe I will. Cool. Sure. I guess these are the weirdest ones to me. I think these ships look the strangest. Time for the red ones. All right, so the red looks pretty cool. I think we're gonna do the gunmetal. What else do we want to do to this thing? It's kind of weird. I just think the shape is weird. Doesn't look terrible. I mean, these ones are kind of like almost done. I just have to do some detail on the back and they're done. I think these things look great just the way they are. But these guys, what are we gonna do? Yeah, those look pretty good. Yellow, blue look good. Where is that red? Some crimson. Let's flip this around. Okay. So let's pull out these ridges on top. Without going in the middle. Mm-hmm. All right, nearly done, I'd say. Or at least done for tonight. Okay, we're gonna dry brush. Okay. Nice. All right. Almost done. Let's get some dry brushing on this one. Just gonna pull out some of the highlights. I don't want too much on it because I really like the way this thing shines. It looks really cool. Looks good. Those look awesome. All right, let's get a little bit more on here for the green ones. Also gonna do this for blue, and we're gonna be done. That's too much. Too much on the brush. Sorry. Let's see what I'm doing. There we go. Just gonna pull out those ridged areas a little bit, give it a little bit of a weathered look. I want to get it on the bottom too. Thanks, Casey. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's turning out really good, and we're almost done. Thanks, Yasmats. I would love to, actually. If I get a in real life game going on, I will definitely do that. Biggest problem lately is my group isn't super interested in playing Dune right now. I don't know why. Actually, largely probably because most of the original Dune players I used to play Dune with are not in my group anymore. So it's mostly online. That looks freaking awesome. This one I gave a little bit of engines to. I made a little bit of engines. I don't know if that was necessary, but I did. So I'll do it for this one too. And then we're going to dry brush the last ones. I'll show you all of them, by the way. So this is the weird yellow. It's got a dirty... I don't know, this is a dirty look, like it's a sand ship. And this one, which I think is supposed to be like a Harkonnen ship. I think this one's supposed to be a Harkonnen ship. Looks really cool. The blue, I think these ones look like Cadillacs. I don't know, the way I did it anyway. And then the green. So I'll give it a little bit of a touch up here. There we go. All right, dry brush time on blue. My group, they're into different games. It's tricky actually. A lot of them have different tastes, so we're kind of trying to figure out how to meet in the middle. In a lot of our gaming, like some of us really like heavy, like I do, heavy Euros. This is a little bit too much. See, still too much. But some of them really like other things, just like lighter fare or medium weight, quicker games, things like that. Okay, cool. I think that's pretty done. Also, it's what time? 11, so yeah, about time I scurry off to bed too. Let's finish this one up. Dry brushing makes them look so good. Your group doesn't want to play Dune much since I started watching the channel, and they like to play casually, so there's good handicaps like starting with less point or playing weaker leaders. Yeah, I get you, man. Most of my group doesn't like Dune in general, so I don't think they're really big fans of like the lore. I'm a big fan of the lore and the books, so I'm the local or group nerdy Dune guy. I always try to get them to play the big 6-player Dune, which I did get them to do once, and I think most of them had fun. But it's not their kind of game. So that's the big problem. But yeah, I don't know why they don't like it. Maybe it's the theme. I could see it being a barrier. All right, well, we are just about done. These things look great. Now, the last thing I always think about doing is whether I'm actually going to paint the very bottom bases. The colors of the players. I don't know if I really need to do that. What do you think? You think this is like, you know, obvious enough which one they are? Let me hold them all up for you so you can all see. Hopefully they're clear enough. There you go. Did some work on that tonight. Not bad. Turned out good. I like the metallic bases. Those turned out really good, and some of the highlights on this one turned out pretty good. Just the dirty, grungy look is pretty cool. A little hard to see because my stupid camera won't focus. But yeah. So like some of the things they like to play, which I like to play too, are Age of Steam, that old Martin Wallace game. Big fan. Yeah, last time we played, like this last Monday, we played Ankh, which is great. Highly recommend Ankh. The red could be mistaken a bit. Yeah. I could see that. I could pull some of the... I could like maybe... give it a little bit more red. I don't think anyone would really make the mistake, though. Whoops. Throw that anywhere, me. I think it'll be alright. I think we'll be good. Yeah, and if someone complains about it, I'll just tell them to stop complaining. I don't know. The other ones seem pretty clear. The blue one's blue. Green's green. This one and red are, you know, yellow and red. Not too bad. Close enough, I'd say. Yeah, it's okay. Terraforming, Clank, Eldorado, and his random games. Yeah, we used to play a lot of Terraforming and Clank. I love Quest for Eldorado. One of my favorite Knizia games. This music's gonna go down now. It's been looping for like hours. Alright, there, it's really low. Oh, I can hear myself think. Let's see, what do we get? I just got Horseless Carriage, which I've been trying to table, but a lot of the people in the group don't like that kind of heavy game, so we've just been trying to find the time to play it. Let's see. I've also been trying to get... I love... It's my favorite game, Brass. But again, that's a heavy game, and it's hard to get people to play it. We played some Lacrimosa online, and I've played that in person, and that's been a big hit. The game's really fun. I think it's kind of a sleeper. I think people liked it, but now don't talk about it a lot, but Lacrimosa is still very, very good. And then I've been trying to play War of the Ring, the card game. So, like, I have it, and I played it once, or no, twice. It's been great, but hard to table, man. People are either not into Lord of the Rings, or I don't know. Just don't want to play a card game. But we did it. We painted the Dreadnought pack, which is awesome. And you know what? I think that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go to bed, get some sleep, and yeah, ready some more videos for you guys tomorrow. So thank you all for hanging out, watching me paint some minis. I think they turned out good. And I'll see if I can get a game of this to the table soon so you can see them in action. Other than that, thank you all, and I will see you later. Have a good night.